Hello, Fitme family. This is your kickoff message for the week. I'm very excited to talk about this one with you. I hope you are having a phenomenal weekend. P.S. Before we get started with our kickoff message, you guys will see that Nutrition Bootcamp is happening this week in the Fitme Community Facebook group. You as Fitme family and clients are welcome to participate in that. It is a free thing. It's really designed for people who are not in Fitme yet, who are trying to make some healthy lifestyle changes, who are trying to get things rolling. But there's something to learn for everybody. And so if you would love to participate, you are welcome to do so. But I would love to encourage you to invite a friend. It's not too late. If you're getting this, I think on Sunday, then it is not too late to encourage a friend to join into Nutrition Bootcamp because there's going to be a ton to learn. It's going to be a great time. So let's dive into our kickoff topic for the week, which we're going to keep building off of what we've been doing for the last 2 weeks, which is we talked protein, we talked carbs, and this week we are talking fat. Dietary fat. And so I want to teach you a little bit about dietary fat. What's the purpose of it in your nutrition? And then I also want to give you some myth busting around it. So first off, let's look at the elephant in the room. For multiple decades, dietary fat got a bad rap. It got the rap of causing heart disease, and contributing to cholesterol, contributing to, and mostly it was like the heart conditions, right? Like that's what we all heard. So in the 80s and 90s, we all had like heart healthy cereal that was low fat. Everything was low fat, and particularly saturated fat from animal products was demonized because for a period of time, there were some reliance on some actually flawed studies that had said that dietary fat contributed to heart disease. Now, since then, those studies have actually been debunked. There's a difference between causation, which is like fat causes heart disease, and correlation, which is like, hey, we're observing these things in two populations. We don't know if they're connected. But there was more behind the scenes than just a flawed study. There was an entire industry that was going to make money off of selling us products that were filled with sugar and processed that. So to remove the dietary fat and so to sell us, more processed food. So the good news is that it's pretty public information now that that's not the case, that we can consume dietary fat in our regular routine. And not all fats created equal, by the way, but let's talk about that a little bit because this is going to give you some information about how to incorporate healthy fats. So again, on the Fitme plate, we've got our protein, we've got our veggies, we've got our quality carb from the ground, and then we say, and then include a healthy fat. So what is that? So first off, what is the purpose of fat in our body? So the purpose of fat, we've got a couple different ones. One, it's an energy source. So fat is 9 calories per gram. So it is a very energy dense nutritious food. So here's what I mean by that. If you eat 100 calories of rice, it might be, it might fill up I don't know what size it would be, a dollar bill. Let's say it fills up the size of a dollar bill. You could eat 100 calories of peanut butter and it would be the size of a quarter. So it's energy dense, right? More density per size is what it is. So you can get more energy, right? Calories are energy from a smaller amount. That can be great. That can also be negative, right? Because that means we could totally overdo it on butter and peanut butter and nuts and oils, and the things that taste so good about dietary fat are easy to overdo because there's a lot of calories in a small amount. But they serve as a fuel source for the body, just like any other thing that produces calories. So the next thing that they do is they're really important for nutrient absorption. And so when we want to get nutrients into our bodies, vitamins A, D, E, K, they're fat soluble, which means that they require dietary fat to be absorbed into the body. And so consuming fats with good nutritious choices like vegetables, right, actually helps their absorption in our body to utilize them. So when you think we're just talking Fitme plates just because it looks nice, that's not the reason why. We actually want to eat those foods together. The other important thing that fat does in our body is hormone production. So fats are actually really important to create hormone synthesis in our body. So sex hormones like estrogen and testosterone are derived from cholesterol, which is a type of fat. So I have noticed, and again, this is just an observation as a as a coach that many women who have done like aggressive diets, again, where they eliminate one macronutrient or the other, whether it's fat or whether it's carbohydrates, they actually struggle with some hormonal issues after that. And that's because nutrition is actually tied to our hormones. The other thing that fat does in our body is cell function. Like fats are a really important part of how our cells function. I always tell people dietary fat is super important for our nails, our skin, our hair, our eyes, all of that good stuff. And it helps with those functions in our body. This one's maybe obvious, but it helps with insulation and protection, right? Like it actually helps us store fat. And all body fat that's stored on us is not bad. We don't want to get rid of all our body fat. It helps us regulate our temperature. We have essential fats, like we need certain amount of fat in our body. And then last, like this one's probably the one that's obvious too, is flavor and satisfaction. Foods that have dietary fat in them tend to taste good. And so that is awesome, right? Like fats create taste and texture and make food smell good. I mean, think about like, all of the things that we really enjoy eating. A lot of them have some sort of dietary fat on them. And so fat is actually really important in our body, but not all fats are created equal, right? Like the fat that we get from fast food, French fries, and Big Macs is not quite the same as putting olive oil on your salad, right? Certain fats have been processed and have harmful side effects in our bodies, while other fats are much healthier choice, especially fats from animal products, fats from oils, fats from nuts. Those tend to help our bodies. And so without getting too into the weeds, just know that we actually need to pay attention to where our dietary fat comes from, right? So how much do we need? For women, my general rule of thumb is to start around 30% of total calories, 30% of total calories. Now it depends on the person, right? Because we talked about last week, if you're doing a lot of exercise, you might need more carbs and a little less fat. If you are, maybe healing from something, maybe you are dealing with a health condition, you might need more fat and less carbs. So it's really variable per the person. But again, for women, I start around 30%. So that is the basics of what fat does for our body and approximately how much you need. Now, when it comes to nutrition and reaching our goals, right? I gave you that little disclaimer at the beginning of fats are easy to overconsume. One, we know they taste really good, and two, they're calorie dense. So they're really delicious, but also they are it seems like we're not eating a lot, right? Like say you're like, okay, I'm going to have some almonds. Like I know this is a quality healthy fat choice. I'm going to have some almonds. Well, guess what? You could overconsume almonds by a mile because they're just that easy to do it. And so when our goal is, say, weight loss, we actually need to be cautious of our portion sizes so that we aren't getting too much. And so with fat, I almost always recommend that we measure it. And so using a tablespoon, a food scale, if you have to use your eyeballs, that's fine. Totally use your eyeballs, but we have to be aware of the portion sizes of fats that we're putting on our plate or that we're adding to our food, because that could be the difference between you seeing the weight loss progress that you want versus not, because you could accidentally be going overboard with the salad dressing, with the avocado, with the guacamole, with the mayonnaise, with the, there's all these other good ones, but at the same time, they are easy to overdo it on calories. So let me give you some ideas of healthy fats, ones that I like to incorporate into my week and into my daily routine on the regular. So one is avocados, right? If you like avocados, they are an amazing source of healthy fat. So they're actually rich in monosaturated fats, which are, again, those are the good ones. And they also have fiber and vitamins. They're great. So measure out some avocado and put it on your plate. A serving of avocado would be a fantastic way to add fat to your Fitme plate. Nuts and seeds. They are a great way to add fat to your plate. And again, disclaimer, really easy to overdo it. If you are somebody who like it, they have monosaturated and polysaturated fats, and they have protein, fiber, and other nutrients. They're really great. Again, measure out your portion sizes or get single servings. Olive oil. I love olive oil and coconut oil as a great way to add fat to my food. So I'll use that on my vegetables, on a salad. Sometimes I'll cook in coconut oil, especially if I'm making something that's sort of like Asian inspired. I'll go with that. Those are a great way to add some. I used to add coconut oil to my coffee, also delicious. And then another one is fatty fish. So you've heard of fish oils, right? Well, fish includes some really healthy fat for our bodies. And so salmon, mackerel, sardines, they are rich in omega-3s. They are so good for us, and they're a great way to get fat into our diet. And then there's also fat in animal products. And again, this is the one that sort of got demonized, that can be confusing. But again, they have proven that study was flawed. And so you do not need to be afraid of including fat from animal products in your diet. And so egg yolks, full fat dairy, the fat that comes in high quality meat sources, those are great sources of fat for you. And if you have concerns about cholesterol, which again, some people have heard that those kind of dietary fats are tied to high cholesterol. Again, studies now have shown that unless you have a family history and you have a hereditary condition with cholesterol, that dietary fat doesn't impact your cholesterol levels. And so again, you do your research and do your homework. And if you're not sure, talk to your doctor. But they have shown that those studies were not accurate. And so it's really important to get the most up-to-date information and not miss out on really highly nutritious food that can be included in your routine in your daily diet. So, moral of the story is dietary fat, totally great to include. We do want to do portion sizes, right? Because it's really easy to overdo it. It does matter where we get it from. Quality counts, right? When it comes to fat. So make sure that you understand the different kinds of fats and like where you can get them. But the kinds of things that are more whole food oriented, again, add to your plate, use it to make your food taste good, feel like you're getting more nutrition because you are, and it's going to help you feel satisfied. So fats are super beneficial for your diet. They're a great source of energy, a great source of calories. Definitely measure your portions. If you're not sure how to include fats in your diet, talk to your coach about that, and find a couple that you really like and then have them be your go-tos. So hopefully this was helpful for a kickoff message for the week. I want you guys to be informed and have all of the information that you need to make confident, empowered decisions about your nutrition. Let us know if you need anything, and I will talk to you guys later. Take care. Bye.